Hi guys, welcome back. Today's video we'll be learning about outgoing payments, or strictly speaking these are vendor outgoing payments. Because yes, you generally pay customers back, but that's a very rare scenario where, for example, uh, initially a security deposit was taken from a customer and now you're returning it back. So the general scenario is where you procure an item from your vendor and you're liable to him and you pay the vendor. So that's your outgoing payments. Payments can be incoming or outgoing. Hence, I have specifically mentioned outgoing payments. Incoming payments in case of customers, but outgoing payments in case of our vendors. In my last video, we discussed about account payables such as creation of vendor account group, creation of vendor, and posting the vendor transactions. We also posted a few transactions. So today's topic is paying out the vendors. In my last video, we created an invoice and now we are paying back to my vendor. All right. So the T code is F-53. The journal entry would be as uh, vendor account debit and bank account credit, bank or cash account credit. So let's move on to SAP screen. Since this is an SAP, since this is an easy access transaction, that means since this is a user transaction, not a configuration, you will find it in SAP easy access. So moving on, accounting, financial accounting, accounts payable, uh, where it is, should be in account or document entry. It's in document entry under outgoing payment. It's F-53 post. Now, uh, as I already told you, prefer T code over paths for easy access transactions. Before going inside, let's see if we have any invoices to be paid. Correct? Unless you have an invoice, how can you pay out? So, what's the T code to check if there are any items for vendor? The T code is FBL1N. This is the T code which we discussed in the last video or the previous video. This is vendor line items. Let's press enter. My vendor, I'm not sure what my vendor was, so I'm just keeping in blank, entering my company code 9001, all items or open items. I should tell you what this means basically, but let me move forward with the payments, then I can explain you what this means, what these three mean. Execute. Since I have only one vendor in my company code, use only one. So the vendor is 1201 Computer Store. We posted this JV in my last video. This is my document number 1000 and the amount is 10,000, and this is red here on the left. Excuse me. That means this is yet to be paid, not yet paid. You can also see another red icon here. It says due date. DD stands for due date, and it says it's overdue. Why is it overdue? Since we haven't come across payment terms yet, I cannot discuss to you about the due date thing. Due date is basically calculation by the system basing on your baseline date and the current date of and the current system date. We shall get to it in detail later on. Just ignore this for now. I don't want to divert the today's topic. So let's pay off this 1000. Document number and the amount is 10,000. Let's pay off this 10,000 amount in full. F-5 3. Let me go back to my Excel for once. Outgoing payments are of basically three types, or yeah, three types. One is complete or full payment. Second is the partial payment. And the third is the residual payment. First, we are going with the complete payment right now. System asks for document date. I gave the same as today. Document type is KZ. We are seeing it for the first time. No, we have already discussed this. What KZ means. KZ means K stands for vendor and Z stands for payment. So this is my vendor payment document. Of course, system would give you an error about the number range. We'll see that. Reference, payment, header text, payment. This is what business needs to decide what they wish to enter here. They may have some numbers. So bank account. Here account means a specific GL account. Whatever GL account you give here will be credited. So what GL are we thinking to credit here? Because my journal entry is vendor debit and cash or bank credit. So the GL you choose here will get credited. So let's choose cash or bank GL so that it is credit at the entries vendor account debit and cash account credit. I use cash account here. An amount 10,000. I know I'm going to pay 10,000. Text. This is again what business needs to decide how they wish to identify this transaction. Under open item selection, under account, you need to specify your vendor account. For which vendor are you going to pay off? So under drop down, or you can manually enter your number if you know 1201 it is, or you can go with the drop down. It's that simple. Remaining things I don't touch. Account type BK, yes vendor. Standard OI stand for standard open items. Correct. So let's click on process open items on the top. You will see an error now. Probably you will see two errors regarding the tolerance and the number range. One is the number range here. 15 is missing. As we discussed in the last video, you can either go to FPN1, maintain one number range, or double click on the error, click on this, there you are. Continue with the specifying the project. This is the default button you need to click every time. Here then, under document number ranges, this is a repeated step, and this step would repeat for as long as we are just posting on the transactions. Each time a new document type comes up and we need to create a new number range. Interval, what was the number range system insisting for? Number range 15 here. So let's create 15 year 2017. Since I'm posting in March, year is 2017. 2018 starts in April as per the financial year. Let's see what numbers are free. From 2000 till all lines are free. So ideally, wisely choose the number ranges. If I choose all the numbers now, 2002 9999999, there are many document types you will be encountering later, such as customer invoice and customer payments, where you wouldn't be able to find a number then. So wisely choose the number, because you will be exhausting all the numbers in same document type. So I have rectified the error which I have seen on the screen. I'm now pressing enter. Here If you're continuously watching my videos, then in the video where we tried to post a vendor invoice, I knew that there was some tolerance error to be coming. It was not in the invoice, it was in the payment stage. Yes, this is the error for tolerance. It says the entry 9001, which is my company code, is missing in table T043G. Yes, table T043G stands for tolerance groups. You cannot just click here and go. I know where to go. So I'm keeping the screen as it is here. I'll be using a new session like this and navigating to this solution or the node where I can maintain the tolerance. This isn't opening. Let me open another one. Yeah, it's there. So since this is a configuration, I'll be going to SPRO display MG, financial accounting, accounts receivable payables, business transactions. I'm going for outgoing payments. So outgoing payments, manual outgoing payments, define tolerances for vendors. The T code is OBA2. It's OBA3. OBA2 is for, I guess, GL or employees. So it's OBA3 for vendors. Since this is not a very frequently used T code, pardon me for spelling out the wrong T code, it's OBA3. Define tolerances, vendors, OBA3. Bring inside new entries. Enter your company code 9001 and do not enter anything here. Just a quick look into tolerances. Look, what does this basically tolerances mean? It is the differences between the payment, between the invoice and the payment amount. I repeat, the difference between the payment and invoice amount is tolerance. And you need to decide what amount are you going to tolerate. For example, invoice is 999 rupees Indian currency. But to round off, you're paying out 1000 rupees. That means the difference between the invoice and the payment is 1 rupee. Is that allowed by the business or not? That's the purpose here. If it's allowed, it should be greater than 1 rupee or 1 rupee so that the loss is 1 rupee. And the gain, if the invoice is 1001 and you're paying off only 1000 rupees, that means you have a gain of 1 rupee that should also be under the tolerance here. You can either enter amount or percentage, or there is also an option to adjust it by discount. That's a later thing. All right. Here percentage means percentage of amount of the document. If I enter 10% gain and the invoice amount is 10,000, sorry, if the invoice amount is 1,000, then certain amount will be, then the 10% on 10 or 10% on 1,000 will be your tolerance on gain. That's it for tolerances. Let's save this. I have done nothing here, only create the or enter my company code number and save. Not number, company code ID basically. That's it, I'm done. I'm going off. That's okay if you stay in that screen, but I don't like staying in that screen anymore, and close my extra sessions. Going back to my outgoing payment screen where I saw an error. Here, since I have rectified the error, the second error as well for the tolerances, let's re-click process open items. This time it should let you go. system. Yeah, there you are. You're already inside, and you see that there's a document number 1000 with amounting 10,000 here. What do? Nothing. Let me go back to the line items. This is my 1000 document number, and 10,000 is the amount. Uh, Here, this is a catch. When I just entered into the screen, you saw that 10,000 was in blue. It is still in blue. That means this is selected for payment. Upon double clicking this will become black. That means this is not selected for payment. Why is this so? If there are uh, if there are more than one items here, assuming there is also an item in the second line, you only wish to pay the first line, what would you do? You would double click this is blue, and the other would be black, right? So double clicking means you are selecting it for payment. Try it out for yourself having multiple invoices and double click on the blue. You will see that amount entered is 10,000. Yes, in my previous screen, amount I entered was 10,000. And assigned means this item. When I double click this black, that means no item is selected. It says 0 is assigned. When I double click on this item and system says yes, 10,000 is assigned. So amount entered in my previous screen and the document selected should be of the same amount. There should not be any differences. If there are differences and if you wish to just pay off, that should be in your tolerances allowed. If there are no tolerances allowed, because as you have seen just now, in my configuration, I have no tolerances maintained. Blank they were. Blank mean zero tolerances. So any difference of 1 rupee or even the decimals, system would not allow me to pay off. And not assigned should be 0. Alright? Do not enter anything in the difference postings. So shall we save? Because the amounts are matching against what I wish to pay. Before saving, this is the post icon, you can directly post, else always go with the overview icon. Document overview, this mountain and sun takes you to your document and click on simulate. Here you are. So this is the document which system is going to post. Computer or my vendor account debit, as you can see, positive amounts are debit and negative are credit. I discussed this in my previous video as well. Debit my vendor and credit my cash. This is what we wanted to do. Now, I haven't posted it yet. Coming back to my FBL3M. Once I clear the document, that means the screen I was in, I haven't posted it. Once I post the payment document, what do you expect this to happen? This should turn to green, correct? Let's see. I'm now posting this. Very good. Document 2000 was posted in company code, but it's still red. It will still be red because this is a report or a static report where the data is fetched upon execution only. The data is not in real time. So you need to go to the list on the top, list button on the top, and click on refresh. Why? Why does it say no items? Because here I have checked open item. I'll tell you what this is. For now, click on all items and execute. You will see that it has turned green as well as the document is also mentioned here. And the clearing document for my invoice is this. So this KR type was 1000 was my invoice and 2000 is my payment document. And the due to this vendor is 0. Now coming back to this. There are three buttons here. Open items, cleared and all items. Open items means the items which are yet to be paid or read. When I execute, system says no open items are pending. Correct. There was only one invoice which was pending and have paid off. And cleared items. Cleared items are those which have been paid off. So the first one depicts which are pending to be paid off, and cleared items are which are paid off. So system would show. In case of all items, it is combination of open and cleared items. Right? So to filter out, you can also specify the dates here. Posting date, from this date to this date, you will find the documents. Generally, businesses go for 1 month date because they have their 1 month reporting. Depends on the business and the country laws. So coming back to my Excel, we have completed the complete payment option in full. Now let's move on to the partial payment. What does partial payment mean? Partial payment means payment which is not done in full. Payment which is not done in full. Correct. It may be that 90% is paid and 10% is unpaid. It is still a partial payment. If you say that 99% is paid and only 1% is remaining, that is still a partial payment. I hope you understood. Good. So now let's move on to SAP screen and see what does this partial do. So to make a partial payment, you need to have an invoice. Let's post an invoice. So our steps to test the partial payment should be: first, post an invoice and then partially pay. Or let me suggest an example here. I haven't suggested an example in complete payment because that was crystal clear where my invoice was 10,000, I have paid off 10,000. But here in partial, let me create a case here. Post an invoice of, since we have already posted 10,000, let's post invoice of 12,000 now. And let's make a partial payment of 7,000. And then let's make a final payment of the remaining amount, that is 5,000. Right? So my invoice was 12,000. I made a partial payment of 7,000 and I make a final payment later on for 5,000, totaling to 12,000. Do not get confused with the down payment thing. Down payment is a completely different thing which we'll be taking up later. So let's post an invoice with rupees 12,000. Follow a scenario, then you will have a way that where you are going to. Let it not be very ambiguous. Yeah, this is my vendor. Date is, yes, today's date I take. Heading is partial payment. Though this is only an invoice, guys. I'm naming this invoice because this is my partial payment scenario. Invoice will be used in a partial payment scenario. I just entered the reference. It's up to you whatever you wish to enter. That's merely a text. I'm just posting an invoice now. Amount is 12,000. GL account, same expenditure account I would be using. Amount 12,000 again. So my debit and credit are zero. I mean debit and credit differences is zero. The entry system is posting is this: my expenditure account debit to vendor. This is my basic invoice and I'm posting it. Document is posted. Let's check in the vendor line items. I've gone for all items and execute. You will see that there is another open item. Open item is which is yet to be paid. I guess you may be confused with what this is. Let me just change the name of the document. I'm just changing the reference, the text. In my initial videos, I've shown you what things can you change in a document. Let it not be partial. It will be invoice scenario 2. That should help. Did not change. Wait a minute. Not yet. Just let me refresh. It will done. It will be changed. There you are. So according to our plan, I posted an invoice of 12,000. Let's make a partial payment of 7,000. Now let's go to SAP. The T code for making partial payments is no different than what we have already done for complete payment. Initially for complete payment, we went into F-53 post. So the similar T code will be used when I'm going for partial payments. So enter the details, similar details, partial payment, same bank account, that means cash account. What amount are you going to pay? 7,000 according to the scenario. Remember, amount you enter here will be credited and real you enter here will be credited. System does not think anything. It cannot even judge what you're about to. Account is this. So the difference between the complete payment and partial payment in the selection screen at least has nothing. It has amount, GL and other things which are in its place. Only thing you need to be careful is about the amount. You should not enter the invoice amount, you should enter the amount which you're going to pay. As usual, click on process, open items. There you are. You will see few tabs on the top. These tabs were already available in the complete payment as well, but we did not use them because standard is for complete payment. Partial payment is this thing, and for residual, you'll find that. Withholding tax is separately different thing, is completely different thing. We'll be taking up as a separate topic. We will be coming to residual items also, which is our next topic to be discussed in the same video. Now let's focus on partial payment. Since you are going for a partial payment, click on partial payment tab. A new field called partial payment amount will be shown here. Initially it would be minus 12,000, which is similar to my invoice amount, but we need to change it to 7,000. You can manually enter 7,000 here or double click. System would enter the difference of amount, or system would just enter the amount which you have entered in the previous screen. So double click, system would tell you or suggest you the amount you have already entered in the previous screen. You can also manually enter 7,000 minus, that's fine. So the amount entered is 7,000, assigned is 7,000. Sorry for the disturbance caused. So we were here about the 7,000. So we are ready to simulate. You can go to document and simulate. System will be posting this entry. Now, before posting, let me take you to FPL1N, my vendor line items. Refresh. There's nothing. I haven't posted anything. So what do you expect? So out of 12,000, 7,000 will be paid. Yet 5,000 should remain as a balance. Correct? And what about this? Should it turn green? No, it will not turn green. Let me show you. Going back to the payment, and I save this. Document is posted. So now, sorry for the disturbance again. Seems to be some network issue. As you can see here, my invoice was for 12,000 and the partial payment I made was for 7,000. Now, and the net amount is 5,000. As discussed, 5,000 should be my pending amount. And this hasn't turned green unlike my previous scenario, because in my previous scenario, complete invoice was cleared by the payment document. The amount was same, complete payment. But since my document is not cleared at the moment, it still stands open. Even if the amount is 5,000 or in decimals, my invoice still stands open, hence it will not be cleared. Right? Now, how do you get to know that this KZ or this payment document belongs to this invoice? It is by adding another column here called invoice reference. Yes, this is where you can adjust your layouts, adding the fields and so on. Just browse through, you will get hang of it. I know the field is invoice reference. Let me use. If it is updated, let me check as well. There should be a field. Invoice reference here. Let me place it at the end. Okay, let me place it at the end. Yes. It says that this document 2001, my partial payment document, refers to 1001. What is 1001? My invoice. All right. This is how you can link them. As per our scenario, we have made a partial payment of 7,000. How about final payment? Let's make a final payment now. Final payment can be made in the same T code F-53. I'm not exiting the T code, I'm using it as it is. Enter the details. Payment. We are paying out 5,000 now. Nothing special, all usual. Click on process, open items. There you are. Since I'm paying 5,000 out of 12,000, do you want me to go to partial payments? No, I'm not paying a partial payment. I'm completing the payment. I'm clearing my total invoice. Let me come back to my Excel and explain again. I had a due of 12,000. I have paid 7,000 and I'm here now to pay 5,000. What happens when I pay off my 5,000? This invoice is now nullified or cleared, correct? So paying 5,000 out of 12,000 is not a partial payment now. If I were to be paying 4,000, that can be considered as partial payment, but I'm completely paying out the invoice. So there are two items here. Let me deselect both of them. Now, what would you do? You would select 12,000, which is your invoice to be paid, and the amount you're paying is 5,000. What does system say here? You have assigned for payment, the document is 12,000, but you're trying to pay only 5,000. Where is the 7,000 amount? But you need to tell to the system that recently you have paid 7,000. So double click on the document as well, 7,000 as well. So now system can consider that 12,000 was your invoice, 7,000 is what you have already paid, and 5,000 is what you are paying off as a final balance. All right. So this should not go as partial, this should go as a standard payment. Let me simulate this. There you are, my vendor debit and cash credit. Before posting, let me go back to vendor line items and see what impact does it have. I'm refreshing for no reason. So it's the same as it was before. Now, as soon as I post a document there for outgoing payment for the 5,000, you'll find that everything has turned green. Let's see. I post it here. There's the 2002 was posted. Let's see, go back and refresh. You see, my 12,000 invoice is turned green. Sorry, here. And 7,000 and 5,000 payments have been turned green as well. I hope you got the point here. So that is regarding the partial payments. Going back to my Excel, we are done with partial payments. Keep it away for some time. Coming back to my residual payments. What is a residual payment basically? Look, residual is like, let me take the same example of 12,000 here. My invoice is for 12,000. I receive damaged goods worth, for example, 4,000. How much are you paying him off? I would pay him only 8,000. So you decide whether this is my partial payment or a complete payment. You decide. He sent me goods worth 12,000 and invoice worth 12,000, out of which damage were 4,000. If I pay him 8,000, is he going to ask me that when am I going to pay him the rest of the amount, 4,000? No, because I'll be paying only what worth of goods I have received. All right. Now the remaining 4,000 can be adjusted in the next orders, but I'll be paying off 8,000, which will be considered as a complete payment, not as partial payment. And here, this 4,000 amount stands as residual amount. Let me also tell you what this word residue means. For those who don't know, residue means the leftover amount. Something which has been left over, that is called residue. Similarly, this 4,000 damaged goods I'm not going to pay off is the residual amount which is standing there. I'm not concerned. I'm only paying 8,000, so my document should be cleared. All right. Hope you understood. Let's get back to SAP screen and start this residual payment. Similarly, as we did for partial, let us plan for residual as well. Let's not take similar amounts. Let me change amounts a bit. For example, 15,000 be my invoice and 2,000 be the residual amount. Here, let it be changed to residual, and the final payment be 13,000. Right. Now let's post an invoice as per the scenario. 15,000. How do I post an invoice? Very simple. Go to FP60 and post an invoice. We already have some sessions open. I'm not retyping the tree code. Same date, invoice for residual. Okay, it doesn't accept much. So the amount we are expecting is 15,000 here. GL account same amount 15,000 again, and I simulate and save this. My JV is similar, expenditure debit and my vendor credit for 15,000. As soon as you post, your FBL1N will be updated. So I go for list, refresh, you will find an invoice, open invoice for 15,000 credit. As discussed, let's pay 13,000 and residual is 2,000. So where do you go? Similar screen F-53. Here, payment, sorry, not partial, it's residual basically. Amount. How much am I going to pay? I'm going to pay 13,000. Payment is this. And this time going to my residual item tab, double click, you will see system has taken 2,000 here. Right, 2,000 is my residual and the ultimate payment is 13,000. System also agrees to the same. All right, amount entered is 13 in my previous screen, and I'm paying off 13,000. So let me simulate. System says that my vendor is getting debited 15,000 and vendor is also getting credit of 2,000 as my residual, and cash account is 30,000 which is going out. You will also see a message at the bottom of the screen saying correct the marked line items. Do you think is there any item marked? Yes. The second item with the posting is 36, which is blue in color. So that is marked for some correction. I'll tell you what the correction here is. Just double click on this item and enter the text. When a residual item is paid, text becomes mandatory saying, what is this basically? So that you can tell residual item for invoice number so and so. What was my invoice number in FBL1? Then let me check. 1002 it is. So enter 1002 so that the link is maintained, so that you don't, or the business doesn't get confused. Why is this item still pending? You need to enter that it is the residual item for so and so invoice, damaged goods, or so and so reason. So go back to the simulation and save or post. Document is posted. What do you expect here? I haven't refreshed yet. Let's see. You will see that an item is still open but amount is 2,000. This is the new item. The old items which my document was 102 and 203 are paid or cleared with 15,000, but whereas I have paid 13,000 only. When you go inside the document, you will find that the cash amount is only 13,000. So system has cleared it with the complete amount, but still there is 2,000 which is a residual. Look, this is the text, so that you can link the invoice number. That is the residual item for invoice number 1002. Where is the 1002? Here. Right? So this was all about my documents, partial, complete, and residual. I hope you understood. Practice well. Partial, residual, and complete. These are very simple and very important in interview sessions as well. Basically, your interviewer may ask what is the difference between partial and residual. Excuse me. What you can say is under partial payments, the invoice amount, sorry, the invoice document and the payment document are not cleared. All right. Let me write down here. Invoice and payment documents are not cleared. Only the net payable amount is shown. Right, we have already seen this. When I pay a partial document, the invoice and partial payment document are both not clear. They stand in red because invoice is not yet completely cleared. All right, and net payable amount was shown. That was just a basic thing. This was for partial payments. Now, residual payments. How would you explain it to an interviewer? You can say that invoice and payment documents are cleared with full amounts, with full or complete amount, and a new item of residual amount uh, stands as an open item in a as an open item. That's nice. That's fine. Invoice and payment documents are cleared with complete amount, and a new item of residual amount stands as an open item. So this is what your interviewer expects from you. Just try to explain him, and you'll be good to go. That's it for today's video. We have completed the different or various types of payments for outgoing payments. I shall meet you with my next video soon. Till then, see you. Thank you.